Okay, the recording has started. So this is the February 12th, 2019 Rook community meeting. And we'll go ahead and start by taking a quick look at any of these 0.9 patch releases that we have to do. I don't know of anything that's upcoming there. It looks like on the board, all we have is this Cassandra wrong mount point issue still there that from my last recollection of it is that it had backward compatibility or migration concerns, and I don't think that there was a solution that Giannis was able to spend time on yet because of his work on his thesis, I think. Mm-hmm. So I think that's still in progress. They're still working on it. I don't know. Depending on when that's a solution for that is found, maybe we won't backport it. I'm not sure, but we'll have to see I don't think there's any progress on that one. Have you heard anything about that, Travis?
No, I haven't. He's been pretty quiet in Rook these days, focusing on other stuff. So I expect we'll hear soon or at some point, and then probably, assuming it's still not urgent, we could probably wait for 1.0, it seems like.
Cool. Yeah, we'll see how that goes then. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the 1.0 milestone. And so we're looking at the milestone first here. And scrolling through everything, we have a somewhat, not quite as much as for 0.9, I think, but a somewhat aggressive attempt at putting a lot of issues into the milestone here. So we see that there are still a fair amount that don't have assignees or owners for the issues yet. Hopefully as the milestone continues, we're targeting sort of a quarterly release cadence. So sometime around the, middle to end of March is when we'd be targeting. So, through that process, we're hoping that, more of these issues will be able to pick up owners as either, other contributors come to the project or, contributors that are already working on issues here, finish these and move on to the next ones. So, let's take a look at the board as well.
Yeah, I tried to move a couple of issues around for what's in progress, but I'm not sure it fully represents yet either. And there's some issues I could probably assign to myself. I'm planning on them, but just haven't done that yet.
Yeah. That's weird. So the milestone says that there's 56 issues open. But then the project board says that there's 55 in the to-do column itself, which doesn't quite add up.
So we need to check on the milestone versus the board.
Yeah, it seems like there may be a couple of issues that are on the project board, but do not have the milestone set. Mm-hmm. Okay, so are there any of these issues in progress here that we want to be discussing? I think I've seen a whole lot of emails and discussions on pull requests and stuff that on more issues than just these. So it seems like we don't have all the issues in the right status right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like there's been more PRs than issues represented here too. I don't have
like PRs being open that don't have issues associated with them.
It doesn't feel like so much that as just not tracking the issues in this project board as diligently as we should. So I'm going to make a point to myself at least to just track that better.
Cool. That sounds good. One thing that I've been doing pretty diligently is that when an issue gets resolved or closed, with a commit to master that will be in the 1.0 release, I've been making sure that all of those get the 1.0 milestone assigned to them. And there's been a fair amount that have come through that we've closed, but we haven't put into the milestone. So I've been following up on that to make sure that, everything we actually finish and that will be included is, accurately tracked in the milestone, which makes the release notes a lot easier too.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Are there any specific issues on here that we want to bring up, or we probably just move on? That we're making progress on the milestone. There's there's issues that are still don't have owners right now, but we're continuing to make progress.
I don't know of any urgent things we need to talk about. Yeah, it's ongoing. There's on the Ceph side, there's CSI integration and Nautilus work. There's, yeah, I don't know that there's a lot to talk about here for that stuff,
Sounds
unless
good.
it's interesting for the group.
Alrighty. Okay, let's go ahead and move to the community topics. So it sounds like in the background I was hearing like a Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Wii noises. All right,
Our meeting isn't entertaining enough.
no, probably not. That's okay. It's certainly not as entertaining as a Nintendo. Okay, so there's a topic on here for the Rook.io redesign and doc site changes as well. It looks like Alexander is now on the call. Alexander, have you gotten much of a chance to sync up with the efforts that Chris is putting into redesigning the Rook.io site?
No, I haven't.
I know that at least we have, communication has been open there at least, and he's shared with you the, the designs and some of the thinking there. Yeah. So we've started with that at least. So what are you thinking right now, Alex, in terms of the static generator and, what changes have been made? Michael Goff had made some changes recently to, make the Ruby gems that the site depends on just be GitHub pages, so we don't have to continuously track, our own dependencies. Do you think that that's a good approach for, minimizing the maintenance burden of keeping things up to date? Or, are you pretty sold on the Hugo static generator, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, my main thought for Hugo, besides the dependency part, is that it's one binary in the end that you need to run to get to generate the site. That was my main point there.
Tell me more about that. How does that compare or contrast to the Jekyll? I'm not super familiar.
Well, Jekyll, as far as I know, it's it's a Ruby thing, so it's not just one binary, but you also need to have Ruby and stuff installed.
And stuff.
So that's simply my main point basically there. It's just that, yeah. Well, as I said, if I have one binary that I need to install, and it's a bit faster than if I have to download some gems. But as I said, it's more or less a thing which would be nice to have.
Got it. And is there any functionality in Hugo that is not available in Jekyll, or do they have the exact same feature sets?
I'm not sure about every feature, at least that I use till now, but I don't think so. If he already has some work up with Jekyll, it's good. But the only thing kind of that even though when we use like Jekyll or so, would be that I think it would have been better if I had known that he started work on that earlier.
Are the design changes or the design that Chris is envisioning, are any of those incompatible with some of the like using Hugo, or is that you can achieve all of them still?
Sorry guys, I have to disconnect right now. My mother is calling me for the 5th time right now.
Oh, okay, take care of that, man.
In a second.
Good luck. All right, cool. Yeah, so I think that we'll continue following up on that though, where the design changes to update the Rook.io site and streamline some of the documentation. We'll continue following up on making sure that that's in agreement and in alignment with on the technical side of being able to generate the site using a static page generator from from the source documentation. So we'll have to keep following up on that.
So a question around the design too, is there somewhere we can review the designs or see what the new content will be? Because I know it's long overdue. Just be great, where can we start reviewing that and start getting excited about it?
Getting excited about it. Yeah, Chris had had a some design sketch
Totally.
project stuff that he had started putting together, and I believe that you had seen a link to that from an email thread that Alex and I were discussing it. I don't know where. We'll have to follow up and see where he is on it right now. But the design changes, I think, will at some point soon should be something that we can all comment on.
Yeah, exactly. And that's right. I guess I did see a link before, but I didn't follow up sufficiently to review it. So, cool.
No worries. All right.
And Alex is back. Yeah. Is there anything else on that topic, Alex?
Not really.
There we go. Yeah, okay.
So he's working on the topic basically now, or how are we gonna do it then?
Yeah, we'll follow up to just make sure that
Okay.
the design changes that Chris would like to see are fully compatible, with on the technical side what we can do to generate the site, and make sure that the effort from both sides there on the technical side and the design side are in alignment.
Okay, got it.
Cool. Thanks, Alex. Is everything cool over there, by the way?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Okay. Glad to hear it, buddy. Okay, so there aren't any other topics listed in the community topics section, and I don't see any topics in the PRs to discuss section either. Were there any topics for either of those that anybody on the call wanted to bring up now in this forum?
Yeah, one question I have is yesterday the dynamic bucket provisioning discussion. I had to drop off that call early, and it sounds like it ended up in a different place than when I dropped off as far as going for a general solution again. Could we just review that design for the group briefly, or where that discussion went?
Yeah, so during the rest of that, so we had agreed in the last call about doing a strongly typed, Ceph buckets solution. And then in the call yesterday, there was still disagreement on if it should be a general solution or a strongly typed solution. And so where it ended up is that I think either Jeff Vance or John Cope that summarized it. And sorry. And then, there's not an agreement to that still. So we need to continue weighing in on that on the pull request, and it's not something that everyone's on board with.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't read the notes close enough yet either, so I'll do that.
Yeah. Go take it.
I try to follow that discussion on pull request, and it sounded like the summary was that there was agreement, so I'm not sure how to reconcile.
Yeah,
the summary with what you just said, Jared. So,
yeah, I'd be happy to chime in on that too to make it more clear that there was not an agreement. Where we left it off was that I had requested Jeff or John to summarize what they wanted in order to get other people to be able to take a look at it, like you, Bassam. But it was not an agreement from my side.
Got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
And so are we going to do some of that here, or is that just follow up in the pull request?
I think follow up in the pull request, because I'm looking at the attendees list and I don't see anybody from that conversation at all.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, thanks, Bassam. Okay, so I think that's all the topics here, unless last minute call for topics. Alrighty, I hope everyone in Seattle is staying safe with all the inclement weather